What's up, peoples? Monday afternoon, and getting ready to do a little work. Been doing some stuff upstairs this weekend. Done a lot of painting. Getting the bedroom painted up and office painted up, and fixing to get the baby's room ready and all that good stuff. You know how that goes. But yeah, I hate painting with a passion. So yeah, enough about that. But I do have a couple of doors I got to work on. I had a couple of doors I had bought, just old Luan doors, not old, but new Luan doors, that replacement doors for the doors that were up there that have been beaten, banged up beyond recognition over the years. So I've done it before. I've got the little jigs to cut out the holes, and the other side will have the hinge holes and all that. I've done all that before. It's no big deal. But for whatever reason, this door is, which is a standard 30-inch door, but this door's both bedrooms doors actually, which one bedroom is their office. But anyway, they're both 1/4 inch smaller than these, so I get to rip a 1/4 inch off this bad boy and the other one. So something all the time, always something. But anyway, before I get into that, I am going to try some, at least one of the beers that Mr. Malone sent me, and I debated on which one to try first. You know, I've already done his Evil Twin comparison, and it's not posted at this moment as I'm doing this one, but it will be before this one gets posted. But the other beers he sent me, I think was his Pale Ale, his I can't pronounce the daggone sour yeast. What is it? I can't. It's not coming to me right now, but it's sour. I thought about trying it tonight, but I'm going to wait. He also sent me these two. Well, this one, but both of them were from the Yazoo Brewing Company there in Nashville, Tennessee. This one and one called Sue, I think, which is a porter, if I remember right. I didn't look at all this. Y'all know me. I don't study what I'm going to say. I just kind of go off the cuff with everything. But of course, I chose the IPA, so being an IPA guy. And this is really cool. I read just a little bit on it, John. I think you'd sent me a message, and I forgot to get back with you on it about the project number on this one. This is a pretty cool little deal. This brewing company does what they call a hop project. And evidently, every time they brew this beer, they change up the hops to something different. And this one, John, is hop project number 53. And I did actually look on their blog and didn't see that one. It kind of, if you look at their blog post, it went from like 52 to 57 maybe, or 60, something like that. So I don't know why this one didn't get posted on their blog, but maybe you can find some info out on it, which hops they did use. I'm sure I won't be able to tell with my palate, but yeah, I was going to read you, at least read you what it says. This is a hoppy beer. We take pale Munich caramel malts, completely overwhelm them with our unique blend of spicy, citrusy American hops. So yeah, and then it tells you if you want to find out about how the beer was made, to go to their blog. And unless I went to the wrong place, I'll go back and look again. But I went to the blog off their website and didn't see it. Maybe I went to the wrong place, but I'll check it out again. But I'm gonna get this poured and sipped on, and I've got to get this door taped up. I'm gonna put a nice big wide piece of tape down here, and then put the old door on top of it in there on my sawbucks, and draw me a line. And depending on how this beer does me, I probably won't pull out the skill saw tonight, but at least get that far, and maybe by tomorrow evening I'll get it ripped off there and do the rest of it. So all right, I'm gonna pour this beer and give it a little taste and see how it goes. In my cluttered basement, I swear to gosh, I can't keep a clean basement to save my neck. Every time I turn around, I've got stuff strewed everywhere. And home beer brewery, I bet you when you see my videos, you're like cringing with all the mess sitting everywhere, with all your neat stuff. Always loving a good IPA. I don't know that I've ever had a bad IPA. I'm sure I've had some that I didn't enjoy as much as others. Yeah, getting a little bit of maybe I thought it starts like just a little bit of spice right off, but again, you know, I suck at articulating the nose and palate on beers. My neighbor's back there shooting. If you hear noise, it's not me. If you hear somebody shooting, it's not me, obviously. Oh yeah. Nice copper color. Man, that's got some lingering bitterness. That's all around good beer. Love it. Appreciate that, John. I don't know that how many of these I'll put on this one video. Probably. Wow, that bitterness hits you right there towards the end. If you give it just a second, it covers your whole tongue. I like it. But yeah, I'm gonna get to fooling with these doors and enjoy this nice Yazoo IPA. I have to learn to slow down on beers, man. I tend to guzzle them, and but yeah, I need to learn to slow down on these beers. I'm bad to take a big gulp, and then 2 or 3 of my gulps, your beer's gone, and there you are. So almost down to half a glass already. So yeah, I'm going to enjoy the rest of that one and get my doors going, and I'll add some more to this probably before I upload it. So later. Well, it is time for another JOMalone3113 beer. Today it is 76 degrees here in the foothills. It's crazy, loving it. So got to get out for a nice little after work walk / jog, which I have been slack on in the last month or so, but I'm getting back into the swing of it. And yeah, spring has definitely sprung. I hope it lasts. It's supposed to be like near 80 tomorrow, so crazy. Not a bad winter at all this year, and I hope it stays that way. I hope we don't get no something sneak up on us. But yeah, worked on my doors last night, as you saw in the first part of this video. Got the knobs cut out, hole, and got that part recessed, and I got to do the hinges. Of course, I was going the other side. And since it's nice and warm today, I thought I would try John's Berliner Weiss. Now, I've probably only had 2 sours that I can remember ever. I don't know a whole lot about them. And the 2 times I did have the sours was kind of at a tasting to where I had had several beers before the sour, so I really didn't get to appreciate it like I should. I know from what little I remember on the Berliner Weiss, it's a German. Usually I think you use, and I did go back and look today, Pilsner and wheat up to maybe like 30%. I think some I read use like 50% wheat. John's, I don't have a clue what his recipe is. On his notes about his, he just said that it was his homebrew Berliner Weiss. It's really tart and sour, and he also mentions, like I have read, that you can add fruit juice, or a lot of people add it's not really, yeah, juice, I guess, and stuff to kind of cut it, I guess. But yes, since I'm nice and sweaty from jogging, and this is supposed to be a really low alcohol, tart, easy drinking, sipping beer, I thought it'd be a good one to try today. So I'm gonna get it poured here, and I'm ashamed to show you this all sitting here at my bench because I got so much crap going on. But yeah, it'd be bad if I dropped this. I'll be pissed. Oh, Arrogant Bastard Ale, that's about as close as I've got to a goblet. I know Berliner Weiss should be drank out of a goblet, and that's about as best as I could do. Wow, that is tart, and it should be highly carbonated, so I don't know if I can even pour it like this, but I'm going to, because I want to get a good head on that thing so I can get a good sniff off of it. Now, I know some of these sours can be cloudy. And like I say, I don't know what John used in his recipe, but that looks to be crystal clear and very carbonated. So I'm really curious about what the grain bill is going to be for this, and which yeast. Several different ways of doing sours. People use the sour mash, they sour the grain, the actual sour the grains. Some people use these, I think you'd call them like a combo pack type yeast that these yeast people, like Y yeast and White Labs have. That's just a combination of the L yeasts and or the lacto and maybe the Weiss yeast or Brettanomyces, whatever they are that they're using. So there's different ways to go about it, and like I said, I don't have a clue how this one is or has been made. But yeah, just really tart right off the bat, really tart. I got a feeling it's going to be really refreshing, as hot as I am right now. Wow. Yes, definitely tart. Uh, whew, wow. Don't get me wrong, I'm making those faces, but you got to realize I like bitter beers. Well, I say that. You know what? I'm all the time saying I'm an IPA guy and I love bitter beers, but really I do love them and they'll always be my go-to style. But I like different beers as long as they've got a good flavor, a good taste. You're not going to catch me sitting down to like a Guinness or any kind of, usually like a milk stout or anything like that, or I don't know, something real thin tasting that doesn't have a good bite to it. Just, I guess, like a BMC beer, I guess is kind of what I'm getting at. But this has got a good flavor to it. I can see this being a really nice session beer, and I know these are usually low ABV, usually 3 to 5%. And again, I have no idea what this one is. Wow. I can imagine what it might be like. You mentioned some raspberry, and I probably should have picked some up and tried it. It's talking about syrup is the word I was looking for a while ago. John referred to it using fruit juice. A lot of people say syrup, add syrup to it. And I think there's a couple of certain type of syrups that people use, just from what I've read. And like I say, I've not studied this style hardly much at all, as really as I have any style. And that's something I'll get into maybe here in a minute. But blueberry raspberry works best. So yeah, I can definitely picture that. And I wished I had. I was trying to think if I even have any juice upstairs. I don't think I do because I didn't pour all this. Blueberry. Right, I know I don't have any raspberry juice. I don't think we have any blueberry juice. I don't know what to compare it to. It's just really tart. I mean, I maybe lemony. I don't know. Again, I suck at articulating what I taste and smell. I know when something tastes good. I know when I really appreciate it and enjoy it. And I do this, but I can't express what I taste and smell unless it's just something spot on that I know and have studied before. But I could imagine putting some raspberry juice or blueberry juice or maybe even strawberry juice of some sort into this and really giving it a different altogether flavor. But yeah, man, that's great. I would love to learn more about sours. So lay it on me, John. Let me know your process and your grain bill. If you don't mind sharing, you may have it on the video. I haven't even really looked back to see. You may have this on your YouTube channel. But this is really good for right now for this type of weather. Like I said, it's a good, easy drinking beer. I thought it was curious when I was reading about sours that a lot of them are no boil or really short boils, like 15 minutes. And what I was going to say is, I really need to, I've been doing I've been brewing for almost 3 years and doing all grain for most of that. And I've really spent a lot of time just trying to tweak my system and learn it really well, every aspect of it. And it has really prohibited me from venturing out too much from the IPA style. Even though like I say, I love IPAs, and that will always be my favorite style, unless my palate just totally changes. Um, but yeah, now that I have learned my system, and I think I can pretty much, and I understand it, I know what it's doing. I think, and I've done enough all grain recipes, even though I have ventured out a little bit. You know, I've done an Oktoberfest. Actually have done a Hefeweizen. Um, done the Arrogant Bastard, which turned out to be like a really, pretty much a brown ale. And I've done this Evil Twin, which is an amber ale. So, and I've done a few other things, but really mainly IPAs. But I really, really want to start doing some different things. I really want to do some Pilsners. I would really like to do the Victory Prima Pils. And I want to do a Pilsner or a really light pale ale just to make sure that I'm not getting so many, I'm not getting any weird flavors for one reason. Y'all can tell me I'm crazy or whatever, but I know lighter beers, Pilsners and pale ales are when people do stouts and IPAs and all these other beers that are heavy beers like that, it's real easy to cover up any issues with your beer, your brewing process. So now that I feel like I've got a good handle on my system, and I've thought about changing it, but I'm not. I'm just going to leave it alone. It's doing just like it should do for what I'm doing. I'm pleased with it. There's no sense in changing it. So now I think is the time to start doing different styles and learning different things, even if it's styles I don't like. Yeah, I really want to just start expanding my knowledge, and I'm very narrow-minded when it comes to learning. I really have to do something over. I'm a repetitive learner. I can read something 20 times and look away from the book and look back somewhere else, and I've done forgot it. I hate that about myself. I don't retain information very well by reading or hearing. I have to do it, and that's got its pros and its cons, I guess. But it's frustrating to me because and I think maybe that I'm obviously, you can tell I'm just rambling. So there'll probably be the only two beers that make it to this video. But while I'm rambling, I'll just ramble. But yeah, it's frustrating to not be able to absorb everything I read, and maybe I go about it too much because I'm constantly listening to podcasts. I'm either listening to something or reading something every chance I get, at lunch and breaks at work, and while I'm working I listen to my iPod and listen to podcasts, and maybe I'm just going in too many different directions and listening and trying to learn too many different things. And I guess it makes it harder to retain everything. There's just so much that I want to know. I want to know it all. I don't want to be a know-it-all, but I want to know it all. But I know it'll come with time and patience and experience. And right now, now that I've learned my system, I feel like I've got a good handle on the brewing process, what it takes to make good beer. I want to start learning, different yeast, different grain bills, different hop bills, which I do to an extent. But when you start getting into different styles, everything changes to a point. So yeah, that's where we're at right now, and I guess I went off on a little ramble there, but oh man, it's just so nice out here. I could sit out here and talk forever when I'm talking about beer, but I'm going to enjoy the rest of this sour, and it has definitely hit the spot, so I appreciate that, John. Still got your pale ale to try. Still got the, I think it's the Yazoo Sioux, and I still have another Evil Twin that I'm going to dread drinking because I know it's going to be the last one. And I'm glad you sent me two, brother, because I loved that first one. So I'm going to enjoy this and get back to working on doors and maybe cleaning up a little bit. And like I say, I'll probably post this video with the with me drinking the first one, the Yazoo Hop Project. And maybe just break those other ones out in another video. So cheers. Appreciate you coming by the channel. Questions, comments later.